why are we saying whether this is TDS or this is FBT new avatar? Sir, I am reminded of those good old days of FBT. It is almost 17 years, 2005. The ghost of FBT, stood up from the grave. Why? Because at that time, it was really challenging, for what used to happen. And this is what is there. I was going through today morning, my notes on FBT. I had occasion to robustly defend and even take up public interest litigations to court, against FBT on what issues? We had when FBT came, everybody said it's fine. Why? Because the FM said, just as here it is 28.4, you are defending 194R, we are with it. Those days you had said that, there are two kinds of perquisites, sir. One is perquisites which are given to individual employees for which rules are made, for which valuation can be easily done, and there can be simple taxation. But then the Honorable Finance Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, on the floor of the House, and I was in the Parliament when that speech was made, I heard, he said that, the challenge arises when there is collective enjoyment of these benefits or perquisites. Say a group of employees are taken on a trip overseas, and we are going to have a similar occasion here. Okay, to the extent the tickets or the hotel expenditure is incurred, you can definitely say that this is what it is. But you try to put up, and one of the controversial things which has come up in this CBDT circular is that common leisure activity will be considered for this purpose. Now, please understand, even if as a dealer I am going on my principles, dealers conference, my objective is not to enjoy the leisure activity there collectively. Okay. And the board itself says that if you are going for a dealers conference, fine. That will be business expense. So they themselves say this. Now, sir, at the time of FBT, they said all this, that the objective is to tax the perquisites which are given collectively. But then what happened? In the name of FBT, they brought in provisions to tax all kinds of business promotion expenditure. Sales promotion, this, that, etc. Why? Because, they had attempted earlier. There were provisions for 37, 3A to 3D, we know, sir, for disallowance. Then they dropped them. So they came to be challenged, and in fact, every high court kept on saying that the objective of FBT, was to tax collective benefits enjoyed by employees. And if you are attempting to tax business promotion expenditure, it cannot be done. Now, sir, here also, I think that line of reasoning will have to come. And more so, because, let me raise this point now. Otherwise I may miss the string of the logic. Kindly understand that, sir, 194R, they have now brought in the new forms, etc. When a form is to be filled in, we have deducted tax in the case of a deductee. What happens? You are required to give the PAN number. You are required to, in all deductions, you are required to give the amount on which the deduction is made. Now, I am drawing a line of difference. I have no issues where the board says that if an overseas activity tour is taken, in that case, your ticket, your hotel, individually identifiable, clear cut is to be taxed. No issues on that, sir. But there is a common leisure activity. Say there is a conference, and then at the end of the day, some big playback artist is invited for which, they spend 5 lakhs of rupees. Or there is a gala dinner and drinks for which 10 lakhs are spent. Now, do you mean to say, Naveen, that 10 lakhs are spent, 100 people were there. In fact, interestingly, there may be some residents, there may be some non-residents also. And there will be people who will say, Baba, हम तो पीते भी नहीं और खाते भी नहीं, आज तो मेरा उपवास का दिन था. So how can you? And then, the question is, even if I will say this is not 28.4 in my case, I am not going to pay tax. अच्छा, आप कहोगे यार मेरे को, I want to save my skin, I will gross up and pay. Now the question is, if you are grossing up and paying, and sir, Punia sahab, aap to department mein rahe, section 199 says, you can claim credit for TDS in the year in which you are showing the income. And who can claim credit? The person who is showing the income. As you very rightly said, TDS is to have a trail. Now, यहाँ आपने tax recover किया. मान लीजिए कि somebody who is doing business is wanting to be very cautious. So he says, I will, ठीक है, मैं भर देता हूँ tax. पर वो फॉर्म भरने बैठेगा, कौन से 100 लोगों का वो फॉर्म भरेगा ये 10 लाख के डिनर के लिए? एंड हु विल टेक द क्रेडिट? एंड इवन इफ सपोज आपने मेरा नाम डाला है, आई वाज देयर, आई से मैंने कुछ लिया भी नहीं, आई हैव नॉट एंजॉयड. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, this is something, as I say, why I am reminded of FBT, because here I am sorry to use this word, but I could not find anything better. Sir, it would be nothing but unjust enrichment. In case of a deduction, you may say कि 206 AA और AB में ये higher rate पे होता है, किसी को नहीं मिलता है, पर जब कोई क्लेम करने आता है, मान लीजिए कि उसका पान नंबर दे देता है या तो दिखाता है कि I am not a return filer defaulter, you have to give him credit subject to his offering to tax. Now here, ये किसकी इनकम है पहले ये तो तय करो, और उस पर आप टैक्स काटने की बात कर रहे हो, and you are putting the person who is doing business under so much of strain. Sir, I only want to ask both of you as my dear friends. On one hand, the Honorable Prime Minister is talking about ease of doing business and India going up, above in these echelons of ease of doing business. Now, a provision like this, it hits at the root of the ease of doing business. I think I would, through this webinar, I think we need to urge, in fact, in India, taxpayers, they do not come up for movements. Tax professionals sometimes raise their voices. In fact, tax administration bodies are now more active, sir. Unke organizations and unions are much stronger and faster. Sir, I am for 194R to capture all payments which were earlier being missed out under 28.4. Catch the culprits, tax them. In fact, tax उनको कैच भी नहीं करना पड़ेगा, इसके आने के बाद वो खुद ऑफर करेंगे, टैक्स भी कट होगा, रेवेन्यू भी आएगी. But let us not get into, under the umbrella of a provision like this, try to hit our heads against the wall. That's what I'm trying to say. Sir, initially, as you rightly said, I'm only articulating a point. जहां भी reimbursements हैं, जहां भी कोई benefit perquisite का nexus नहीं है, like samples etc, promotion, identify भी कैसे करोगी, किसको फायदा हुआ है, किसकी इनकम है, किसी को मिला, यूज किसी और ने किया, तो आप काटते हो या कटवाते हो तीसरे से, and then nobody can claim credit. It is nothing but FBT. Sir, we don't want new taxes like this कि आप डिडक्शन करो और फिर कोई क्लेम करने उसको नहीं आ सके, क्योंकि कौन करेगा सर, कॉमन एक्टिविटी में. और वो बंदा फॉर्म भी कैसे, मेरा फॉर्म अपलोड नहीं होगा. नवीन भाई, आप तो यू मेक सॉफ्टवेयर फॉर टीडीएस. मैं आपको ये क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, डोंट जस्ट आस्क अस क्वेश्चंस. मैं आपको क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ कि मैंने काट लिया, चलिए मैं बहुत ही कंजर्वेटिव, law abiding tax, in fact, just because I am conservative, I am not necessarily law abiding. But मान लीजिए मैंने बोर्ड की एवरी सिंगल इंस्ट्रक्शन को फॉलो करते हुए, उन्होंने ये कहा बोर्ड में kindly pardon me for making a little departures, but flow of thought में आता है इसलिए दिल से निकलता है। उन्होंने पुष्पिंदर जी बोर्ड ने ये कहा एक जगह पर कि आपने डीलर कॉन्फ्रेंस किया, उसको दैट इज प्योर बिजनेस एक्सपेंडिचर, उसमें कोई बेनिफिट परक्विजिट नहीं है। डीलर आता है तो अनलेस इफ द फैमिली मेंबर्स कम एंड दे टेक एडवांटेज, उनकी होटल रूम है, उनकी टिकट है, तो आइडेंटिफाइबल है। पर वो ये कहते हैं कि कॉन्फ्रेंस के अगले दिन कोई आता है और कॉन्फ्रेंस के बाद वाले दिन पे वो रुकता है, तो दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज प्रोवाइडिंग परक्विजिट। नाउ सर काइंडली अंडरस्टैंड, कल सुबह दिल्ली में कॉन्फ्रेंस शुरू हो रही है 9 बजे। मेरी फ्लाइट अगर मैं अहमदाबाद से लेके आता हूं, मेरी फ्लाइट 11 बजे के पहले पहुंचती ही नहीं है, तो इट्स बट नेचुरल आई कम ऑन द प्रीवियस डे। आई गो ऑन द प्रीवियस डे और मैं होटल में रुकता हूं, तो वो कंपनी कहेगी यार तुम आए, अगले दिन आए, रुके, एक दिन तुम्हारी फ्लाइट नहीं थी या चूक गए तुम, रुके। तो इसलिए या तो आप संडे को रुके, आप आज बंदा काम भी करता है अपने यहाँ बैठ के कहीं से, बट these are things, so we will need to draw lines. If these are the kind of instances which are being illustrated कि इस पर टैक्स का डिडक्शन होगा, during all these years whenever circular used to come out, हम क्या करते थे सर, हम एक ड्राफ्ट सर्कुलर निकालते, that used to be circulated to stakeholders, suggestions were invited, they were considered, and then they were implemented. This time, for whatever reason, that has not been possible. I would say, even within the constraints of time, इसको थोड़ा extend करिए, उसमें heavens are not going to fall. सर आपने ये कोविड में कितने extensions दिए, इंक्लूडिंग 147 से लेके फेसलेस से लेके अपील से लेके कितने टाइम के रिलैक्सेशंस किए। सर आई वुड से सेटिंग द टोन फॉर दिस वेबिनार, लेट there be a better sense prevailing by getting some time. Let the board invite, suggestions. Sir, positive, negative list hum banaye. Sir, we were informally discussing and you rightly said ki, on some things the circular says this is only illustrative. Now, sir, that's the worst kind of clarification you can give. आप दो चीजों को इलस्ट्रेटिव बता के you leave 22 other things to the imagination of the taxman. Why don't we have, like we used to have, sir, on service tax and other things, have a positive list, have a negative list, और धीरे धीरे करके बढ़ाइए। सर मैं ये कहूंगा कि अंडर 194(2) they have correctly used their discretion on saying कि चलो सेल्स है, डिस्काउंट, रिबेट एक्सेट्रा, उसको आप बेनिफिट या परक्विजिट मानते भी हो तो भी जस्ट टू एंश्योर दैट देयर इज नो डिफिकल्टी और पीपल डूइंग देयर बिजनेस, हम इसको नहीं गिनेंगे।